Hi Kirsty.
Hi Daddy.
Tell us who you are, why you're here, and what this day means.
We're here on the 10th anniversary of the Scottish Referendum to send a message to Westminster that the independence question has not gone away. There is still a huge appetite for Scottish independence, as you can see.
Kirsty, where actually are we?
We are on Connel Bridge, just outside Oban, 5 miles south of Oban. North of Oban.
North of Oban, yeah.
In Argyll, the most beautiful county in Scotland.
Awesome. And what does this day represent to you and to this community?
Well, I think there's a great deal of sadness because people think about what could have been achieved had we voted yes on this day 10 years ago. But there's also a great deal of hope because the question is not going away. We are going to continue fighting. As the T-shirt says, no rest till yes. So we'll keep going because it's the right thing for our country.
And what does it mean to you?
Independence. Everything. Everything. I have children. I have grandchildren. So independence is crucial. It's an economic necessity now because we cannot continue to be dragged down by Westminster the way we've been, well, for the last 300 years.
Yeah.
We need to make our own decisions and make our own mistakes.
And do you want to make a comment about the political landscape?
Sorry.
Do you want to make a comment about the political landscape and how things are politically?
It's frustrating. It is frustrating that there's not more moves towards independence, but I'm not a politician, so I don't know what the right way forward is. But I do trust our politicians that they will find it.
Awesome, Kirsty, thank you for speaking to Independence Live, and our viewers will be much appreciative of that.
Thank you, Gary.
Hi Rhoda, good evening. Thank you for talking to Independence Live on what is a rather spectacular view behind you.
Gorgeous.
Why are you here?
I'm here because I think it's important that we let everybody in this country know that we are not beaten. They thought 10 years ago that they had beaten us, they stabbed us and they thought we were gone, and that we're not. We're here, we're still fighting for Scotland, and we can hear today from all the cars tooting to us as they pass that there's still a lot of support for us. And I think it's important that we're out here being seen, that we're not going away and we've got more work to do.
And who are you here representing? What is your role?
At my role, I have just become the new convener of Oban and Lorne, a branch SNP. And I'm also involved with the Grassroots. And I think it's important that it's not just the SNP alone or Grassroots alone, it's that we all work together, that there is a lot of support out there for independence and we need to nurture that and get people on our side.
And is the gathering here, has this brought people together, do you think?
I think.
I mean, we've got boats out on the
Yep.
water. We've got lots of people travelling by giving us their support. There are many people who don't like what they're seeing here today.
Yeah, but I think here today there's a lot of our branch members, there's a lot of grassroots members, and I've lived in Oban all my life, and there's lots of people here today that I don't know. So they've obviously come from slightly further afield to join us, and I think that's great that they have support what we're doing.
Is there anything you want to say to our Independence Live viewers?
I just want to say that please do what you can and support independence. We know, particularly talking from the branch, you know, it's not very interesting maybe for a lot of people to come to sit at a branch meeting and talk about things. But we would like to move forward in the branch and be there, do more for the community, and for people, you know, in our community to approach us with anything that they want help with or that we can, you know, do for them. And I think it's important we engage more people in what we're doing, and basically I think that's
great,
the way
Rhona.
forward.
That is fantastic. Thank you for speaking to Independence Live today.
Thanks for asking me, Gary.
I'm Derek Pretzwell. I'm here on Connel Bridge with the Grassroots organisation of Oban, here to celebrate the independence referendum of 2014 and to remind people that independence has not gone away. It's still live and very much part of the people who believe in this country. And I think it's important to come out to this event to demonstrate to our own supporters and people who sit on the fence that independence has not gone away, and it's the important thing, the only thing on the agenda for Scotland.
What does it mean to you personally to be here today, to watch, to look at this support that's out here, this absolutely stunning sight here in Argyll?
The support here today and the people who are here just remind me of the joyous experience of campaigning in 2014, when there was a singular unity amongst the people who were part of the Yes campaign, who believed in creating a better society, as opposed to what ultimately is the divisiveness of the No campaign, which effectively brought lies and discord and was all about the personal self. and not about the wider community. And I feel that we need to come out and keep demonstrating to the people of Scotland that it is about the people of Scotland, the sovereign nation of Scotland. And it's a message also to our politicians who believe and affirm the sovereignty of the Scottish people, but don't recognise that independence is not about politics. It's about a nation state, and it's about the people of that nation state. And whilst at the end of the day there may be an SNP nib that signs off on the treaty, the hand on the pen will be that of the people, because it's the people that has to determine our independent nature. And Keir Starmer talks about us being a union of equals. And because of that, we should not be asking permission. We only need one thing, and that is a measure that the majority of the people who are voting are in favour of an independent Scotland, and get that vote. Then our message is not to Westminster, our message is to the world, to say the people of this nation have stood up and are counted, and they want independence, and it is their right under international law to be independent.
But also, it's the second time today that I have heard someone talking about the lies that we were fed, not only about Brexit, but
Listen,
the referendum as well. If you don't want to speak about that, that's okay.
Don't go on the polls alone. Two things that come to mind. First, that in 2014 when we lost, the margin we lost by meant that if we found one no voter and converted one no voter to the cause of independence, we would have a majority. And I know from my own personal experience of having more than a dozen confirmed no voters said, I want independence this time. So I don't believe the polls. And secondly, there is a breakdown of voting attention amongst age groups. Only one age group says no to independence, and that's the over 65s.
Yeah.
So why are we behind in the polls? The other thing is, you mentioned the lies. The last real figures for an independent Scotland, for Scotland's budget, were published for the financial year 1920-21, and they were published in 1922. And at that time, Scotland produced £119 million. They got 33 back, 86 was kept by Westminster. I call upon all the bodies involved in independence to put the real figures out, not your construct jers based on assumptions, but the real hard figures. We need our people to know how much money is stolen from their pockets every week, every month, every year. And that'll get them, what's the word? Beeling. They will get off their backsides and they'll vote for a better future, and not the lies and stuff that's being peddled by the Labour Party, who have been found out sooner than they thought they were going to be.
Absolutely. What about the political landscape in Scotland though, and how that sits and where we are from where we were in 2014? Are we in any different a place?
Well, we are. We've made enough mistakes to realise what we should be doing now, I think. I have confidence in our politicians to get it right. I have confidence in John Swinney to actually bring the change that's required within and outside of the SNP. The SNP has to work with the other parties. It really has to work with the other independence parties, and it cannot. This is about our nation, not about the SNP and not about politics. As I said before, politics will sign off in the document, but this is about our people of our country wanting a better future.
Yeah.
And you know what? To quote Go Compare, it's simples. We have enough money, enough resources, which can be channeled by the feelings of our people which want a better future for everybody, for every child, for every adult in this country, and we can do that. Just get off your backsides and get out there, campaign for independence, and let's get a bloody move on.
Derek.
Thank you.
Thank
Sorry,
you very
I had
much.
curry last night for tea.
Thank you very much for speaking to Independence
Gary,
Live.
it's a pleasure.
What
It's
a
for seeing
pleasure.
Independence Live. Cheers.
Thank you.
What a day for it, eh?
Okay. Hi, Campbell, and thank you for speaking to Independence Live on what is a rather spectacular view behind you.
Certainly is, isn't it? I mean, this is Bonnie Argyll for you.
So where are we, Campbell?
You're right in the middle of, well, you're not quite in the middle, but you're here in Connel Bridge. This is the tidal saltwater falls, the only one in Europe. And this is the road bridge that takes the traffic north from Oban, right up ultimately to Wick, but via Inverness and Fort William. It's getting quite exciting in behind us there, that's what I like to see.
It's lovely. Why are you here, Campbell?
Well, I'm here to remind folk, as if they needed reminding, that it's 10 years since we had the referendum on independence, and we've been bluntly ignored pretty much ever since by Westminster. So we have to keep the profile up. The Conservatives, the Labour Party, the Liberals, all the unionist parties there will just ignore us unless we are visible. Unless we're talking to our friends, they will just push us to one side.
And what do you think is the best way to unite the independence movement behind?
Well, I mean, I think the independence movement needs to be united to a point. To a point. It certainly doesn't need to be divided. But I think most of the success will come in the one-to-ones. People speaking to their friends about how they want it to be. If you like, imagining ahead what an independent Scotland would be like. And you know, it's all the obvious things. It's living in a safer society, it's living in a compassionate society. There can be no doubt that the social democratic policies and profiles north of the border are far more compassionate. We look after people north of the border with free prescriptions, with free bus travel for the elderly and for the young, trying to get themselves into employment, trying to work their way forward and make something of it. These are all things we need to remind people of. Now, the unionists are turning around saying, but these are past glories. Well, they are past glories, but they will only remain if we maintain them. And the way to maintain them is to have an independent Scotland and make sure that we can bolster these things with all the economic benefits that independence will bring us.
So someone said to me the other day there on our travels, how can Scotland possibly afford that wee country? How can that afford to be independent? What are you talking about? Do you ever thought on that?
Well, it's really quite laughable, that, isn't it? If the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland is as successful as they would have us believe, then we're 10% that success. You know, we're also 10% these liabilities.
Yep.
So we've said that we'll take them off into an independent country, and we'll make it work. But we've got all sorts of assets. We gave away our oil. We shared it with the United Kingdom, and various governments through the ages have used it for nefarious purposes, to be honest. What we'll do with the second coming of an energy boom, and that's through renewables, is we'll have the revenues to spend on our people. Now, that's the first thing. You just take the whisky industry. The biggest export that we've got in Great Britain and Northern Ireland is the whisky that we send abroad. There is greater value in the whisky that is stored within the bonds than there is gold in the Bank of England.
Absolutely.
How can we possibly be poor?
Yeah. And you and I like a wee dram, so we know that the whisky industry is
We do.
very strong.
We do enjoy a wee dram.
We
Well,
do, yes.
if it's strong, just put more water in it, I always
Absolutely, a wee tipple, yes.
say. You're not putting enough water in it.
What does this mean to the community? What we're watching today are people passing by. There are lots of cars, lots of drivers that are tooting their horns, but there are also others who are, on the odd occasion, have used some nefarious language
Oh,
to
tell you,
tell
they're
us where
bound to
to
be.
go.
They're bound to be.
What's your feeling about it?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's a wee bit
How
sad.
this is
These
to our
individuals
community.
that come and, as you say, maybe make signs or maybe curse and swear, that really is a bit sad. I can't imagine if the boot were on the other foot and we're celebrating the union here. Can you even imagine the prospect of a bridge being taken by unionists? Can't imagine it myself. But if they did, I would be the last person to be making any criticism. I would be encouraging them to do so, because I've yet to hear what's good about the union. I'm waiting on that story. It's still to come. What is it that makes the Union such a success? Best that they can usually come up with is, well, we've taken our borders back. We've got our own laws now. We've always been together. Brexit has made us stronger. Well, you know yourself, we struggle up here. We haven't had the benefit of Brexit. We haven't had the benefit of that dividend that apparently exists in England.
Anyone in the United Kingdom's had any benefit from Brexit
Well,
yet.
I keep asking my unionist friends, tell me what the benefit is. What's the benefit of breakfast? What's the breakfast? What's the benefit of Brexit? What is the benefit of being in the United Kingdom? And it's difficult to know.
Yeah.
And what is really interesting is, since the Second World War, about 60 countries have gained their independence from what was the British Empire. The world power that was the British Empire. 60 countries have gone. Why have they gone? Because they thought they could do it better themselves. And no matter how successful they've been, good or bad, there's not one of them, not one has come back.
Yeah. Campbell, thank you very much for speaking to Independence Live.
Very welcome. It's a delight as always, Gary, to say hello to you. Keep up the good work.
Cheers.
Spread the word.